Good morning. Welcome to Craft Time at the Lisbon Hepburn Library. My name is Michelle McClagan and I am the director of the library here in Lisbon. And today our craft project is to make a Valentine's Day mini heart garland. So what you will be making are 4 sets of hearts, and you can hang them on a piece of twine and string them across your fireplace. You can hang them vertically and hang them on the wall. I'll show you some different ideas as we get a little further into the project. Now, these particular ones have not been glued together. We'll be gluing these today. These are the 2 that I had already finished, so you can see kind of what those look like. What you will have in your craft kit, if you've already picked up a kit, that's great. I still have about 6 kits left. We are open today from 9 to 5, so please feel free to stop by before 5 p.m. and grab a kit so you will have it for the weekend and you can make it for Valentine's Day. What you will have paper clipped together here is a piece of twine, 2 pieces of paper with your template on it. So you will have a large heart for the back and then 3 smaller sized hearts to go on front. And then you will also have several pieces of scrapbook paper. There should be 2 large 8.5 by 11s, a square piece that has a pretty print on it, and 2 smaller pieces. And I tried to make sure that the colors went together. Some of the kits are going to be red, some are going to be pink, some are going to be purple, but they're all Valentine's Day colors. Now, what I want you to do first, please, is to cut out the 4 hearts that are on your template. So you will end up with 4 hearts like this that you have cut out. If you want to be able to make a garland with 4 large hearts, my recommendation for you is to take your 2 large pieces of paper and use your template, put it all the way down in the corner like this, and then use the paper in this way so that you can get 4 of the largest size hearts out of the biggest piece of paper. If you start with that, you should be able then to take your print paper and get 2 of these size hearts out of it. And I could show you here that if you do it like this, you can get 2 of those. And then you can use your other pieces of paper to do the other sizes, and again be able to get several size hearts. And then even with this little one, if the color you choose maybe is this original one, it'll fit in there, or it may fit here. So you've got some options as long as you start with the biggest heart first. So what I'm going to do is put aside some of these extra pieces. Because I already have cut out my extras and I don't want to waste another set of paper. So there are my templates there. And here are the pieces of paper that will go back in somebody else's kit. And this is what we want it to look like when we are done. All right, so I've got a heart here, and I also have another large heart. And you can do these in any order that you want to do them as far as your colors go. But I have cut out my pieces already in the best way that I could so that I could fit them onto my paper. And just a word of caution, and this is just my sample, so it's fine, but some of the paper that I've given you has a hole punch in it, like it was just at the top of all of the sheets. Make sure that you're not actually putting your heart over the hole, and I accidentally did that, so you can see where I've patched it together. But you'll want to look at your colors and decide what makes the most sense for me. And in this case, I don't want to do that because it doesn't really show up. So I've tried to give you alternating colors so that you have the option to do something where maybe you go from a darker color to a lighter color or to the print. And then I think about like what's going to make the most sense for me here. This one is got a little bit of a stripe to it, so I think it's going to look better maybe there, and do a bright one here. And then I have my 2 smaller ones, and I've got the option I could do that or whatever makes the most sense, but I'm going to go in that particular design. So what you needed as far as supplies from home, you needed a pencil or a pen so that you could trace everything. And then you needed a pair of scissors so that you would be able to cut all of your pieces of paper. And the only other thing that you need from home really is a glue stick or some liquid glue. And what I'm going to do now is just glue these together. And I just want to make sure that I'm keeping them in the order that I want them. And you may want to double check with the cardstock that I have given you. Some of it is printed on both sides and some of it has different designs on opposite sides. So you may find that one side is prettier than the other side or just has a color combination that you prefer. So I will just come along in here and center this the best that I can. And we'll glue that down. And then I will do the same thing with my next heart. And I'm just trying to line up the points down here with the tops and make sure that I've got them spaced fairly evenly. And this is an example. It's white on one side, the other side has the pretty print. So I want to make sure that I glue the plain side down so I get the pretty colors on the top. Okay, so that's my third heart. And then I've got this one. And again, I'm just going to double check and make sure I've got my pencil marks on that side. So I want to make sure that this is the top side. And then this one's printed. And again, this is the one that has the stripes on it. The other side is just a totally different color. So we will go ahead and glue this one down. And it does help if you are tracing onto a piece of paper to maybe just trace on the not so pretty side. So in the case of this particular paper, trace it on the white side so that your pencil marks don't show up around the edge. And the same thing here, that maybe it would just be a little easier. But that's totally up to you. And we'll glue this one down. And then we've got just one more heart. And that one goes right there. So now I have 4 hearts. And what I want to do next is decide what order I want to put them in on my garland. So like I said before, you've got a fairly long piece of twine here. It's quite long. So you have some options. You could decide that you want to do a garland that you could hang on your fireplace mantle, for example. So maybe you want to, and I don't know that these are all going to show up on camera, but stretch them out like this, you know, and put them this way. And you would have enough twine to do that. You may decide that what you want to do is to hang them vertically. So maybe you want them going in this order. And then you would just glue your twine going down. And another option, maybe if you have a hole punch or something to punch a hole in it, you know, something sharp, maybe the tip of a sharp pencil, you could turn them all into 4 individual hanging decorations that you would be able to take your twine and cut it into 4 pieces and thread it through the hole. Or for that matter, you could just cut it and you could glue it onto the back. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to make a garland that kind of stretches out that I could put on the wall. So the easiest thing for me to do is to find both ends of my piece of twine. I want to find the center. So I am going to find the center. So that's going to be right there. And then I am going to take a heart and I am going to glue it onto my string. So let's go right about there. And then I'm going to take that piece of string that was just about in the center and I'm just going to push it down onto my glue. And if it doesn't want to stick very well, or your other option honestly is just to use a little bit of Scotch tape. So there is my first heart. And then what I want to do from there is I want to put a heart of a different color. And that's just me. You can do it however you want. But I've got plenty of space here on my garland twine so that I can come over to about here. So I am going to flip this back over. And because I don't really have time for my glue to dry, I'm just going to use another piece of Scotch tape and do that. then come back along and figure out how far over I want to do my next heart. So I'm going to go alternating colors here, and I want it to be about the same spacing. So we'll do it just about there, and I'll grab another piece of my clear tape, glue it or tape it to the back. And then one more, I've got my other lighter colored pink heart, and I just want to kind of space that the same way. And if you were doing them vertically, you would just go up and down and use your glue or use your tape. The glue works really well if you have enough time to let it dry. And that one slid over, so we'll just adjust it and we'll go like that. So on both ends of my garland, I do have enough extra twine that you can trim it if you want to. If you're hanging it on something, you might want to make just a little loop and tie it. Depends on how you're trying to hang your garland. But what I've ended up with after I'm finished is a garland that looks like this, that I can go and hang up someplace. And that was a really easy, simple craft. If you happen to have other paper at home, maybe you've got some construction paper or other pretty scrapbook papers, you can make a garland that is much, much longer. I mean, you will have these template pieces and you can just keep going. So you can do whatever you want to with that. But that is all we have for you today. This is our Valentine's Day mini heart garland. And I wish everybody out there a happy Valentine's Day. I hope that you have a wonderful day doing whatever it is that you are doing with your friends and family. So that is it. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, my name is Michelle McLagan, and I am the director of the library here in Lisbon. And I look forward to seeing you next Friday at 9 a.m. for another craft project. Take care.